The case in Canberra may well have encouraged Queensland Labor Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk yesterday to call a snap early state election. Why not? Barnaby Joyce, the Nationals leader, was preoccupied defending his own seat in a by-election in New South Wales. He's out of the picture. And One Nation leader Pauline Hanson, she's stuck in India on a parliamentary trip. So we'll miss the first week of this 4-week campaign. And that might be a problem for a party with Labor and the Liberal National Party neck and neck in the polls, Labor just ahead. This is One Nation's chance to at least hold the balance of power. And it's also a test too for Steve Dickson, who was an LNP MP in Queensland, but is now One Nation's Queensland leader. Steve Dickson joins me now. Thanks for your time, Steve. Why did Pauline Hanson go to India when there's this election in Queensland to win?
Andrew, it's a federal government delegation, I understand, and I'm sure it's all going to be about bringing home the bacon to Queensland, no pun intended. It's all about bringing the money home and doing some sort of a trade deal. And it's disappointing that Pauline's not here at the moment, but I know she's going to come back in the next week. She'll be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready to run around all of Western Queensland and Northern Queensland and show the two majors exactly what they should be doing. Well,
let me put the marker right there now. How many seats do you expect to win, and do they include your own, where the polls say you're going to have a bit of a struggle?
Andrew, we're going to work extremely hard. We've got 60-plus candidates across the state at the moment. Second question relating to my seat. I became elected to the seat of Budrum, and it was actually the seat of Kawana in 2006. I was an independent councillor at the time, and I had 3 federal senators tap me on the shoulder to ask me to run against a sitting Labor minister, and I won, and I've continued to win. And I enjoy looking after my people. I take politics very personally. It's about representing the people first, and it's what I've done all my career, and that's what the majority of One Nation candidates are doing. It's about putting people before politics, and I think we're going to be very successful. I don't know the number of seats we're going to win, but I think we're going to go okay.
But you expect 2 win seats at least. I mean, you do expect, what, 4, 5, 6, something like that?
Well, I may be a little bit more adventurous than that, but we'll wait to see what the public's got to say. We're just going to work hard, and I think the harder we work, the luckier we'll become. We've got some very good policies, and here in Queensland, you'd be aware, and it's right across Australia, we've got issues with, the renewable energy targets, of which we don't believe in at all. We want to make sure that people have cheap energy here in Queensland. We want to build dams and weirs. And how we're going to do that is by killing the Cross River Rail project in Brisbane, of which the Labor Party and the Liberal National Party are hell-bent on building.
Now, you mentioned that's an LNP policy. What are the key differences between you and the LNP for Conservative voters?
I think there's many. I think both of the major parties, and particularly the LNP, they've absolutely lost their way. Andrew, I left that party a number of months ago, and I did it because I don't know what they believe in anymore. I didn't know where they were going with the Safe Schools program, which I'm absolutely opposed to. I think it's an abhorrent thing that's happened, or they've tried to implement it here in Queensland. That's the first thing we'll do if we get the balance of power, is get rid of that. It's the wrong thing to do to our children in this country. It's happening in Victoria, and I'm very sad for the people in Victoria, but I'm not going to let it happen here in Queensland. That's one of the reasons I really want to change things in this state. But there are many, many areas. I mean, they voted together with the ALP, and the LNP came together, and they voted to drop the age of anal sex from 18 to 16. I mean, who thinks of this stuff? You know, I was in Parliament and I refused to go and vote on that topic, and so did 13 of my colleagues at the time. But many people waltzed on down to Parliament House, happily put up their hand and said, yeah, we're going to vote for this. I mean, we got bigger issues in this country, and we should start to look after them. I mean, the cost of energy, we've been beating this drum since February, March of this year, since I've come across to One Nation, and we want to build a coal-fired power station. There's a whole lot of things that we want to do that are logical, sensible, and will deliver an economic base for the future.
And Steve, if you don't win your seat, who will become the leader then?
Well, Andrew, I'd love to answer that question, but I think the same question could be asked of Tim Nicholls or Anastasia Palaszczuk. I've just had a guy on the phone to me a moment ago. He'll be running against Anastasia Palaszczuk in Inala, and there is not one seat in Queensland that's safe. I spoke to Graham Richardson about 6 weeks ago, and I asked him that very question in Townsville. I said, Graham, where do you think the Queensland election's going? And he said, nobody knows, and if they tell you they do, they're not telling you the truth.
Steve Dickson, let's hope that it's a magical mystery tour where we're all wowed and surprised. I love election surprises. Good luck to you, and let's see what happens. Thank you very much for your time.
Andrew, look forward to talking to you in the future. Have a great one, and you just keep up the hard work. You're a good man.
Good on you, mate.